Welcome to This is Football. Welcome. Bienvenidos a This is Football. Sorry about that, folks. I'm running this on my own today and already starting off with technical difficulties. But, once again, I'm writing this solo today. Unfortunately, we have Nico at the stadium. He's working late at the stadium for us, getting a lot of coverage for us. And he actually sent a video in that I'll share a little bit later. Socios at work. Seba, apparently it's his girlfriend's birthday, so he couldn't join us. But once again, I would just like to say, for those of you listening on Spotify, thank you for following us. For those of you that follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter at TIF, TI Football Podcast, thank you for following us. We appreciate it. We're out here working for you guys, cover the MLS and to cover world football. So thank you again. And like I said, I'm going at it solo, so bear with me here if there's some technical difficulties along the way. But let's get into it. Let's talk about La Presentación. La Presentación was this past Sunday, and I don't want to say it was kind of ruined, but it was definitely it was definitely a sight to be seen with that torrential downpour. That always afternoon torrential downpour that happens in Miami. It happened a little late at La Presentación. Um, Unfortunately for some folks, they were caught at the gates while this downpour happened. They closed the gates and they were stuck there. And then some people ended up running past through the gates because there was no security. It was kind of a mess. I had some folks out there that I knew. I couldn't make it, unfortunately, but I had some folks out there that I knew that Socio was out there. He enjoyed himself. He was out there, posting videos, sending videos. Unfortunately, the concert couldn't go on as they thought. Osuna never went on. He never even presented himself. So, I do have, the shot that everybody's seeing, and we'll get into this, the players that we've signed. Let's talk about the player that Inter Miami, the player that Inter Miami signed that everybody's talking about. And that's the GOAT, the greatest of all time, as everybody says, Lionel Andrés Messi. And there's the picture with Jorge Mas, his brother, and David Beckham of Messi holding that number 10 jersey. It was confirmed that he will be the new captain of Inter Miami. And we'll see if he debuts with that armband tomorrow as a starter, or as reports are saying, it's possible that him and Busquets will come off the bench tomorrow. So we'll definitely stay close to all of Nico's tweets tomorrow. He'll be tweeting us and talking to us, sorry about that, updating us all day live from Drive Pink Stadium. I'll be there joining him around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And, we'll get with all La Familia that's over there. We'll talk to folks. We'll get their reactions. We'll get their feelings about, what is possibly about to happen tomorrow. And tomorrow could be possibly the most historic, not possibly, it is the most historic day for MLS, even though tomorrow is not an MLS game. Technically, it's a CONCACAF game. It's a tournament hosted by CONCACAF. It's the League Cup. I know a lot of folks, a lot of media members actually, were denied their credentials. We saw Hurt Gomez tweet out a little bit earlier, that he was denied his credential. Something that is interesting to talk about. Folks that have always gotten their credential through Inter Miami. We got to understand this is an event that's hosted by CONCACAF, and it's their rules, and it is what it is. And so although it's not a game by the MLS, it is going to be a historic day for the MLS because Messi will debut tomorrow, and he will be joined by none other than the number 5 that came along with him, and that's Sergio Busquets, Busi. He's rumored also to come off the bench tomorrow. We'll see. Nico was with him today. He had some lunch with him. He sat down, got some words with him. And he told him he's adapting very well after the first few practices that he's had with the team. He says everybody at the team has made him feel welcome, and he's just excited to get on the pitch and really show the MLS what he's about. And I was talking to a couple of my friends yesterday and my brother-in-law, and we were just saying having Busquets out there is going to be unbelievable. I mean, he's like a gazelle with his legs out there compared to what we've currently had. Nothing against Gregory, nothing against Dixon Arroyo, which who has filled in, you know, pretty well after both Gregory and Mota went down with injuries. But Busi is just at another level. He's that world class number 5 that this club has desperately needed since its inception. And we're really glad that Jorge Mas and team, really Jorge Mas and Chris Henderson, let's say, really made the effort to bring Busquets. And I think the This Is Football team thinks that this is going to be one heck of a signing. Personally, in terms of pure football, I think that this is a bigger signing than Messi, only because I think he'll have a bigger impact in the middle of the field. Obviously, Messi, the brand and all that is completely, at another level compared to Busquets. I mean, after Messi was Inter Miami had a record. They surpassed Inter Milan for number of followers on Instagram. I think they surpassed the number of NFL, NBA, and MLB teams all combined. I'll double check on that, but I'm pretty sure I read a tweet about that earlier. So, again, Busquets, hell of a signing, hell of a find for us to bring him in. And, he is the second piece to this puzzle. Now, let's talk about that third piece who hasn't yet signed, but he is on his way. He couldn't get here for La Presentación because, he was off becoming a father. And that's, Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba is the third piece to this puzzle. And, he's on his way to Miami to sign for Inter Miami. He was included in the Leagues Cup roster, and he will be on the League Cup roster. And we hope to see him. I don't know if he'll be there Tuesday in Atlanta, but if Inter Miami, does go on in the tournament, we will see Jordi Alba play on that left flank. We're definitely excited to see him and Busquets and Messi connect. We've seen that connection before. We've seen everybody on Instagram and Twitter talk about talk about the little Barcelona. Maybe we should change our logo, or maybe Inter Miami should change their logo to the Barcelona logo, because they're starting to fill up on Barcelona players. And let's not forget about, and I'll give you a quick update here, but let's not forget about the other piece to this puzzle, the other Barcelona piece. There's actually 2 more that have been rumored, that have been connected to the team. Let's talk about the first one. That's my boy, everybody's boy. Apparently not the English boys and not boys with some other folks, but Luis Suarez. He was rumored. We actually dropped it on the Instagram that he was going to be an Inter Miami player. We have news, exclusive news from somebody close to him, that there's been an agreement with the team and Suarez in place for a while now. Terms have been worked out. The issue here is Gremio release clause. There's a 70 million release clause that they have on Suarez. Inter Miami has offered to pay 10 million, and Gremio is not happy with that. Obviously, understandable as the Brasileirao comes to a close, and Gremio is in it. They have a chance to win, and I've been told, and I've seen that the price for that tournament, the champion gets $32 million. That's an important sum of money for a club in Brazil, any club in South America, really. And so it's understandable that Gremio doesn't want to let him go. He's been very instrumental in what they've done this year, coming back to First Division after they were relegated to the Second Division there in Brazil. And so that's the update on Suarez. The update on Iniesta is, we've been told from sources close to Iniesta that it's going to be very difficult for the player to come. It's going to be nearly impossible. Inter Miami obviously has until August 2nd to make both of these signings, whether it's the Luis Suarez or the Andres Iniesta signing. But right now we're told both are in a tough place. Suarez is obviously further advanced because he has already terms negotiated with the team. It's just an issue with his current team, with Gremio. Alexander here, he says, I don't think Suarez will sign for Miami. Portalupi's not happy about that. Yeah, Alex, I'm not sure right now he's gonna sign either, and really that's on Gremio. It's not really on Suarez, it's not really on Inter Miami. Again, that's on Gremio, and it's understandable with that big lump of money that could come to them. I don't see any team that would kind of let an instrumental player leave in the middle or towards the end of their season. So the good news is that if Suarez doesn't come over and he doesn't join the team now, there are high chances that he will join the team, at the end of the season in December, where he does have the option, I believe, to get a release clause, get a release from Gremio, at which point, he'll be able to sign, with any club of his choosing. In terms of Andres Iniesta, like I said, it's very tough for the player to come at this point. One of our one of our friends here in the media, Austin Robillard, tweeted it out earlier. Excellent thread he threw out there, regarding Inter Miami's salary cap situation. It would be nearly impossible to. I see we have Seba trying to join here. Let's see if he can join in, and we'll switch here to Spanish for a little bit. But we're talking a little bit about Iniesta, and so Austin basically put it out there. It won't be possible for the player to come in as a DP. He would have to come in for some sort of TAM signing. Because right now we have three current. Inter Miami currently has 3 DPs, and so it would be impossible for the player to come over as a DP. Has been rumored by the by some media outlets in Spain and by some media outlets in Argentina. It has been rumored that it's a done deal, but like I said, right now nothing's done. It's tough for it to get done because of Inter Miami's salary cap structure, and barring anything crazy going on in the next couple of weeks, the owners meeting and them deciding on maybe adding an extra DP or an extra couple DPs. I don't know. Anything is possible nowadays in MLS, man. We didn't think Messi was going to come, and look, Messi's here. We didn't think anybody else would come, and they're showing up. We saw Cristiano tweet out the other day and speak to the media. I went to Saudi Arabia and everybody followed. Yeah, man, everybody's following the money. Messi came here. Let's see if the same happens. Look, he's already brought a couple of folks with him. His boys, Busi, Jordi Alba, and he's got a couple of other boys that are that are coming. So we'll see if it happens. Like I said, it's being reported, but let's talk about the signings that we do know that happened. And those are the 2 young guys, and let's get a little bit into that. So for those of you that are not so familiar with the MLS rules, the MLS has designated players, which you basically can charge up to, you can pay the player any amount you want, but only a certain amount gets charged to the cap. Because Messi and Busquets both signed mid-year, that cap hit is only half of what it would be for a full year. So it's only about 325,000. And I know I'm getting very analytical, but I'm going somewhere with this. Just stay with me here. So because of that 325,000 and all of that, we're able to sign, these other players with TAM. And so the MLS also has this other rule, which is, you can bring over up to 3 U22 players. And that's where these signings come in place. And all of this, signing Messi and Busquets at the middle of the year, and their salary cap only being 325,000 each. That's where all of this comes into, where we can bring in these young players. And we talked about them in our show last week that we had on Friday about these guys that they were very close to signing. Now we're able to confirm that both of them have signed. They're both waiting on their visas and their transfer papers. I see Sebas joining us. We're going to move to Spanish here, but I'm going to throw him up here. So let's first talk about Facundo Farias. Hola, Seba. ¿Cómo andas? ¿Cómo andas, querido? ¿Todo bien? ¿Cómo andas, Seba? Bueno, I guess Seba couldn't join there. Maybe he didn't pay his internet. Maybe we'll have Socio who's out working, hook him up with some money so he can pay for his internet. So let's throw up the video that we showed last week on Facundo Farias. If production did things correctly this week, let's see if they did it. So Facundo Farias, folks, 20-year-old coming from Argentina, played, I believe, he played in Colón. He's like a media punta, somewhat of a hybrid, attacking mid, forward. Fantastic player. Uh, we've been following him here at TIFF, for a while now as we watch the Argentinian league, and also, as we have Sebastian, who's one of our contributors, who lives, just across the street from La Bombonera out in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And so he's been following Facundo and a couple of the other Argentinian players that Inter Miami is following as well for a while, and he's let us know some interesting notes about them, as you can see in the video. For those of you on Spotify, we just showed a video on Facundo Farias, one of the new signings for Inter Miami. As you can see, he does very well with his body. He knows how to hold the ball. He knows how to shield the ball and kind of let it out. Very good, with his feet dribbling, with his head up. Look, I think he's gonna do wonders. I think he's gonna do fantastic for this team. Combination play with Busi there in the middle, combinating, possibly with Messi if Messi plays, that left forward, that kind of loose left forward that he played at Barcelona and that he played at PSG. It's going to be really interesting. Let's take a look at the other guy that we know, who's actually, he interviewed today with TYC of Argentina. And I know, again, we played this video last week, but it's just too good not to play. Let's take a look at Diego Gomez, our newest signing here.
Por arriba, atropella.
Wow. So, like Socio said, with Tacaño, he's already sold. And let me tell you, man, Diego Gomez, Paraguay, played at Libertad. He's got, he's played in La Libertadores. He's got experience there. I mean, he looks like the real deal, folks. He can play that left wing. He looks like, he's going to take over for our former number 1 draft pick, Robbie Robinson, who's been rumored to be released from the team. Once all this transfer stuff is done. We saw the release or the termination of Pizarro's contract, who, funny enough, asked the team to play for free for the rest of the season so he could play with Messi. The team wasn't going to allow that, and we're happy that he found his way with AEK over there in Athens, Greece. We wish Pizarro good luck. He goes down in the history of Inter Miami as the first goal scorer ever for Inter Miami. So once again, we wish Pizarro luck, but we're very happy here. The Inter Miami fans are very happy. We've spoken with them. Everybody's happy with the signings. These young kids really, really, are something. And something I do want to bring up, though, and it's something that Socio actually put it in, and I put it up there. It is kind of funny, and remember they did laugh at us. Folks laughed at us. Folks said, why do you want to fill the team with South American talent? We need to fill it with all. Look, sometimes some of us, are watching certain leagues, and some of us are watching certain leagues that others aren't, and we see things. And so, that's why we say, hey, there's young guys out there, and it's okay. It's okay to fill a team with South American talent, with American talent. It's just a strategy. And we tried one strategy. It didn't work out. We're going with this strategy. Let's see if it works. In my opinion, I think it's going to work. I think I speak for Socio. I think I speak for the rest of us here, Reni, Seba, Nico, Tony, all of us, we all agreed that this was, possibly the right way for the team to go. We're excited, for the team that is basically in our backyards, and that we get to cover to bring these players. And we're excited to see what this team is going to be. There have been rumors that the team could possibly join Copa Libertadores next year. That there are some teams from CONCACAF that will join Copa Libertadores next year. I don't know about that. We've spoken with Nico, and Nico and his sources have told us that it's possible that maybe there's going to be a somewhat of a maybe combined league where they take maybe the champion of Copa Libertadores, the champion of Sudamericana, and maybe a few other of the bigger historic teams. Maybe a Boca, River, maybe an Atlético Nacional, something like that. And they get the top teams in MLS, or the more popular teams, maybe a Seattle, an LAFC, definitely Inter Miami now with Messi. And so you get these 6 teams from the MLS, 6 teams from CONMEBOL, and you have it out, a little mini international tournament. I'm kind of with Socio here. I'd be interested in seeing if maybe UEFA would want to bring 6 teams from champions and make it kind of like a CONMEBOL, CONCACAF, UEFA tournament. And it's kind of like, I guess, what they're going to do with the World Cup here in next year, that Club World Cup. But I'm really interested to see, what these teams in the MLS can show against that top tier talent. We saw in the All-Star game yesterday, Arsenal, came with their team, and they were just toying with the MLS All Stars. But we know All-Star teams, aren't created, to they're solely created on individuals' talent. They're not created really to function as a team. So you can't really watch yesterday's game and say, oh, that Arsenal would kill any MLS team. I don't know. Would they? Possibly, yeah. But, I think some teams like LAFC could compete, maybe 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. We saw yesterday Independiente del Valle play against, Sevilla in what they were calling like an Intercontinental, but the winner of the two, I guess, lower championships, the Europe championship and the Sudamericana, and they went to PKs. It was 1-1. So, that goes to show you that the South American teams in the CONMEBOL can compete with some of the teams in UEFA. And Sevilla is it's no easy cookie there. Sevilla is a very tough team. They've showed that they can compete back, in the Spanish league. They've shown that they compete in Europe. And, call me crazy, man, but with all the signings, I think Inter Miami can compete with some of these teams. I don't know. I think it just really puts them on another level, and we'll get to see it tomorrow. We'll really get to see it tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be at the stadium. Nico will be out there early. We're excited to be. We're excited to talk to La Familia. I hope to get a lot of interviews out there with everybody. I really hope the atmosphere is electric. It was electric on the first day. I remember going out there with Socio interviewing, folks over there in the Inter Miami practice fields. We got to talk to Juan, one of our followers, some of the folks that are in Vice City, Vice City 1896, Los Argentinos, we got to talk to them. And there was a lot of hype about Messi. Everybody was excited. Everybody was like, yeah, we're excited, but we're not sure. And now it's here. Messi's here. Messi is in Miami, guys. Messi's in Fort Lauderdale. Messi held up an Inter Miami jersey. Messi got megged by his son already at Drive Pink Stadium. Let's talk about that for a second. Messi got megged by his son. Nasty meg, bro, right in front of La Familia. Messi got megged by his son already at Drive Pink Stadium. He's already had his first practice, and he's debuting tomorrow. Wrap your head around that, guys. Wrap your head around that. Lionel Messi is going to debut for Inter Miami CF tomorrow in the League Cup against none other than the Mexican team Cruz Azul. So let's get into that a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Cruz Azul. Let's talk a little about the League Cup. Let's talk a little bit about what it is. So the League Cup is essentially a tournament that CONCACAF put together with some of the top teams in Mexico and the teams in the MLS, and they basically split them up into groups of 3. Miami's group is Cruz Azul from Mexico and Atlanta United from the MLS. Inter Miami will play Atlanta on Tuesday, once again at Drive Pink Stadium. And then Cruz Azul will play Atlanta United, so it'll be kind of like everybody plays everybody, and then they'll go off into a knockout stage, I believe. So let's talk a little bit about Cruz Azul and what they've done. We know Inter Miami really is coming off of a bunch of ties and a loss to St. Louis in their domestic league, a 3-0 loss to St. Louis in Tata Martino's first, his debut as coach for Inter Miami. So, Inter Miami's coming off of a loss, but they're coming off of a high of bringing in these players and really, the stadium's going to be sold out. It's going to be rocking. It's going to be unbelievable. And I really don't know what to expect in terms of lineups yet. We really haven't heard anything, in terms of what the lineups are going to be. We're expecting Busquets to come off the bench. We're expecting Messi to come off the bench as well. Probably play the last 30, 35, maybe 40 minutes. We know from some folks that are close to Messi that he does and he has told Tata Martino that he wants to start. I don't know if Tata Martino is going to appease him and allow him to start. But we'll see. We'll see how he feels. We know that he's had a couple of practices under his belt, and we'll see what happens. So I'm sure all the folks that are heading out there early tomorrow, they're going to be excited to see Messi. They want to see him start. But again, we don't have any news yet if he's going to start or not. All we know is that he will play. But let's talk a little bit about Cruz Azul. Cruz Azul, what have they done? They've lost their last 3 games. I'm sorry about that. They've lost their last 4 games. They lost to their last game against Club Tijuana 2-1 last week. They lost to Toluca 2-0. They lost to Atlas 2-0. They lost to Club America 3-1. And you have to go back until June 21st, which I believe could have been a friendly game. And that's when they beat Juarez 3-1. And that was their last win. So, taking a look at what they've done, it doesn't look like Cruz Azul is coming into this game in their best form. They're currently in last place in the Mexican Liguilla, in the Mexican Apertura after 3 match days, with Chivas leading the Liga MX. We'll talk a little bit about their past lineup. So their last lineup, they started in the goal. They started Gudiño in the goal. They started Rivero as a left back, Carlos Salcedo as a center back, Dita center back, Huescas as a center back, and then they played with a double 5 of Lira and Castaño. Then they had 3 up top with Moises, Rotondi, and Tabo, and their forward was Cambindo Ambonia. So that's who they started with their last game when they faced Tijuanas, and they lost 2-1 last week. Last week on the 14th. And we'll see who they start with tomorrow. Again, I'm not sure. There hasn't been anything that I've seen on social media yet about who's rumored to start. But we will, keep you updated. Once again, follow us at TI Football Podcast on Twitter and on Instagram for all of your latest news. Also, you can follow some of our guys at Nico Bravo _14. That's at NICOBRAVO _14. He is our reporter who's out there day in and day out on the sidelines at the stadium with the players. Today he was with Busquets. He had a sit down with Busquets. He had a sit down with Tata yesterday, and we put out a little bit of that. Let's take a look about a little bit about what happened at practice today that he sent us. Looks like our folks over there at the production team is they're failing us again. I'm gonna see if I can get that video for you from production. But today was the first practice where Messi had to practice under the rain. Let's see how that was for him. It looked like it was all right. He looked like he was moving all right out there. I don't know, but we're gonna see if I can get this video for you from practice today. Let's see if I got it right here. I think it's right there. It is.
La manera de trabajo que venían teniendo. y para mañana, hoy no se concentran, cada uno se va a su casa hoy después de este entrenamiento. Y están citados para la hora de la merienda, charla técnica y después salen a la cancha, al estadio. Pero por ahora lo respetan, porque tengo entendido que el cuerpo técnico de Tata va a empezar a cambiar algunas costumbres, quiere cambiar la mentalidad también, quiere construir en todo.
And so you can see a little bit there from practice and the gentleman in the background. For those of you that that don't speak Spanish, I'll translate. Basically, he was essentially saying, that the players are going to practice, they're going to go home, which is very rare in Europe. In South America, the players, what they do, it's called concentración. They usually go to the hotel or they go to the club's training grounds where they have sleeping quarters, and the players basically get together and they all sleep. They don't go home to their families. The players stay there overnight, and that's usually what happens in South America before a big game or before a national team game. So you can see the gentleman was saying how the players will be released to go home to their families. They'll be required to report tomorrow at the hour at basically snack time, la merienda, where they'll have a light training session, and then they'll get together with their team and go off and walk to the stadium. But Tata is gonna be looking to make some changes in there. We'll see if maybe he does make some changes, because he wants to change the mentality, going into the game. Solana here from 560 WQAM commenting a winning streak incoming. Solana, my brother there. I can't deny it. I do think a winning streak will be incoming, especially with these guys. He also comments that usually what's happening, that's usually what happens in the NFL also, even for home games. They used to have them at hotels the day before the game. Absolutely. So that's currently, what's going on right now. Socio right there, he's saying we have a celebrity in the comment section. Like I said, I shouted him out. Solana from 560 WQAM. Also, he does a Heat pregame show. He's a big fan of This Is Football. He has to be. He's my brother. I forced him to join the show. So actually a surprise. I don't really see him in the comments. But he's there, and glad to have you there, bro. So thanks for being in there again. Thanks, Socio, for supporting, and everybody else who's joined us. But like I said, Tata's looking to change the mentality of the team, looking to change the mentality of how these players come in to the game, because we've seen in the past that these Miami teams under Phil Neville, even under Diego Alonso, came in kind of flat-footed, and that's kind of what we saw in the St. Louis game, and that's not what Tata Martino likes to see as his team. He likes to see his team up, pressuring, get up on, up against those defenders, and not really allow them, give them any room to breathe, and really, kind of lock them in there and look for turnovers and get on the fast break and score. And that's really, what he's looking to see with this team. And that's what we're looking to see out there tomorrow. As we go out there tomorrow to see Inter Miami play, as we go out there to see the new players play, as we see Messi, as we see Busquets, we'll see. Steven over here asked, why would Iniesta demand a DP spot? He's 40. If he doesn't want to be part of Messi and friends for the 10 money, let him chill at home. I don't really know, Steven. I don't think he demanded a DP spot. I just think those are the rumors that are out there. That's what's coming from the media over in Spain and the media over in Argentina. That he agreed on a DP spot. That's just a rumor. Nothing's been agreed upon yet. Like I said, one of our friends in the media, Austin Robillard, tweeted out a great thread there. If you're interested in the cap, he does a fantastic job of covering the team and covering the cap for Inter Miami. So he, for all your cap needs, I mean, he's a genius there. So I would definitely go to his tweets and his thread. Fantastic there. But, I don't think he demanded a DP spot. I think he'd be happy coming for Tam. He's been playing for big money overseas already for a few years. I think he'd be happy for that. So I don't know, why that rumor is out there, but, it is. And again, I said it at the beginning of the show. I don't think Iniesta is going to come. And that's what Nico reported. Somebody close to him, he spoke to, they said it's just a very tough situation for him to come. And, I'm going to go with that for now until I hear any different. Although, like I said, the Spanish media and the Spanish media and the Argentina media are saying different. Socio says, pay him what little Neville makes. We don't know. We don't even know what he makes. It's not public what he makes over there with the Canadian team. What we can say is, USA beat him. So USA 2, Neville 0. MLS obviously and USA. Nothing against Neville Grande. But I do want to put something up here that a little video from Nico that he sent for you guys. Let's throw it up there. Of course. Once again, production is just failing on me. Always with the videos. Always production fails me with the videos. But once again, I'm picking it up.
Guys, what's up? We're here about 14 hours prior to tomorrow's big match with Inter Miami versus Cruz Azul. As you guys can see, we're at the pitch. Everything's getting ready. All the preparations are taking place. Look who's out there. The one and only, Rennie. Hope everyone can make it tomorrow. We're going to be reporting here. Danny's going to be out here at the stadium with the fans. So I hope to see you all here. Let's enjoy it.
So thank you, Nico, for that lovely message for our listeners. Once again, if you're listening to us on Spotify, definitely give us follow us on all of our social medias at TI Football Podcast. And if you're not following us yet on Twitter or on Instagram, that's at TIFUTBOL Podcast. TIFUTBOL Podcast. You can see it there scrolling if you're watching live. There on the bottom of the screen. As we bring this show to a close, I honestly didn't think I was going to make it to 40 minutes. I was thinking I was going to do 20 minutes here on my own. I texted the group chats. I was like, come on, guys, everybody join in and help me. I don't know how it's going to be by myself. This is the first time. I've had a blast doing it. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I have a couple more things that I would love to share with you. A couple things that production did put together, some videos that they put together for us. A couple videos of Messi's first training and a couple of the things of that we saw with Messi. Let's take a look before we let you go.
Out at training, when they're at home, how they live, because they're the best, and people want to emulate the best and try and get the best out of themselves. So that's what they'll be doing, and that's the unique opportunity that these players have. They get to learn from these guys every day. Like, how do they recover? How do they eat? How do they sleep? How much do they train? How do they look after their bodies? There's just so many things that you can learn from them day in, day out, and that's why I'm sure a lot of these young players are gonna feel so lucky to be a part of them too coming.
Yeah, so I mean, for those of you that couldn't see the video, that are listening on Spotify, which is a video of basically the team jogging together at Messi and Busquets' first training with the team. You can see Joseph Martinez hanging there very closely with Messi. Nico told us estaba pegado como un chicle. That's how we say it in Spanish. Basically, he was stuck to him like gum. And then that's that South American connection that you have there that you see, that you see with the players. The other thing that we saw today, DeAndre Yedlin, met with the media, and it was interesting that he said, the other day, I forget who it was. I think it was Campana or somebody had asked in the Inter Miami group chat, that they needed some extra tickets. And right away, Messi said, hey, how many do you need? It just goes to show how humble Leo is, and even though he is who he is, and the brand that he has created for himself, and the followers that he has, and the fans that he has, the teams who he's played for, and the trophies that he won, he's just a regular person. He's one of us, and he's as humble as any one of us. And so it just goes to show you, hell of a guy. Great that he does that. The other thing that I thought that was fantastic, that I retweeted, that Nico put out there, that was that yesterday he stayed after practice. Both him and Sergio Busquets both stayed about 30 to 40 minutes after practice with the young guys, training with them, shooting, working on some drills. And again, that goes to show you these guys are world-class players that have played at the top clubs. Barcelona, both have won a World Cup, both have won a Champions League. They've won number of trophies with La Liga. It's just everything that they've won. Messi, Ballon d'Ors, all these things, they don't need to stay, with these 18, 19-year-olds, with Kremashi, with the Noah Allens, with these young guys. But they do it anyways. They do it because they love the game. They do it because they love to pass the knowledge on to the young guys. And that's, that's what we want. That's what we as MLS fans want in the league out of these older players that come. That's the type of personality and the type of mentality and passion and humble mentality that we want from the players that are coming to the league. And so, we hope that Messi coming, Busquets following, Alba, possibly Suarez, and who else? The transfer window closes on August 2nd. We still have, a couple more weeks until that happens. We have a few more games, Leagues Cup, and then we'll get started again with the MLS season. But again, it's been a tough go around for Inter Miami this season. We've had some surprises in terms of who's leading the conferences. You've got St. Louis leading the Western Conference, having a fantastic season in their inaugural campaign. Unbelievable. In the East, you've got Philly playing fantastic, and a few other teams there up top. Inter Miami, they're about, I believe, 8 points behind with 36 points left, with 36 points in play. They have 2 games in hand to the team that's currently in 9th place. So, anything is possible. Anything is possible in the MLS. Any team can go on any amount of runs. Like Solana said, winning streak incoming, possibly. We'll see. Like I said, 36 points left in the league. Right now, the focus for the team, the focus for the fans, focus for the media is going to be Leagues Cup. And that's what it's going to be about now for the next couple weeks. Again, Cruz Azul tomorrow, 8 p.m., Dry Pink Stadium. Atlanta United, Tuesday, Dry Pink Stadium. We'll be out there both nights. We'll be covering. We'll hope you guys are out there. We're going to bring this show to a close now because, there's just not much left to cover. And to be honest with you, I got to go to my other job and work there. So for Danny, for me, for myself, for the rest of This Is Football, we'll be out there tomorrow. Inter Miami, La Familia. Let's get out there. Let's support the boys. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Let's get out there and let's get a win for Inter Miami. Before we go, a little hype up from La Familia. Like I said, for This Is Football, Daniel signing off. We'll see you tomorrow at Dry Pink Stadium. Once again, follow us at TI Football Podcast. We're out.